Solving multivariable equations. Multivariable, well, a variable is something like x or y. Multivariable means there's multiple variables in the equation. So recall that we know how to solve these equations. We subtract 12 from both sides here. We divide by 7 here. We add 6 and then divide by 2 here. Let's finish those out. X equals 3. R equals 32 sevenths. 2x equals 18, dividing by 2 gives x equals 9. So we know how to solve these equations, hopefully. If not, go back and learn. When we start solving something with multiple variables, what's different here? Well, we still want x by itself, and we treat everything else as it's for the number. It's just that we won't do calculations. This is plus a. The inverse operation of adding is subtracting. So in order to get rid of that, we will subtract a. And then we say x, a minus a is 0. And then the other side is b minus a. That's it. What it means is we want x by itself. So x is the same thing as b minus a. If you gave me b and a, I could plug them into this side and I'd find out what x is. Now let's solve this for r. Well, we're trying to get r by itself. This is I times r, so we'll do the opposite operation, which is dividing by I. So v over I equals r. This is a real physics equation. So that's solved for r. Here, we can add b to both sides. That's what we would do if these were numbers. So we'd get positive b plus c. And now this is a times x, so we'll do the opposite of dividing by a. So x equals b plus c over a. If you wanted, I would also accept x equals b over a plus c over a. That's supposed to be a b. That's also equally true. When asked to solve for a multivariable equation for one variable in terms of the others, you're solving as if all the other variables were numbers. You're pretending that those variables are numbers and working as if they are. So if we're solving for d, the opposite of this is multiplying by t on both sides. So t times v equals d. Usually we'll actually write this as velocity times time equals the distance. If a times b plus x equals c, find x in terms of a, b, and c. So what we can do is we distribute in a, so we get ab plus ax equals c. Subtract ab from both sides. And then we get ax equals c minus ab. Lastly, divide by a. X equals c minus ab over a. If you wanted to, you could divide the a into both of those expressions to say this is c over a minus b. You could even do this a different way, where instead you start by dividing by a on both sides, and then you get b plus x equals c over a, to go from here to here, dividing by a on both sides, and then subtract b, and that'll end you up here. E equals mc squared. Find the mass in terms of the energy and the speed of light. So m is what we're looking for. This is m times c squared, so we will divide by all this, which happens to be c squared. So energy divided by the speed of light squared is the mass. In the equation y equals mx plus b, isolate the variable x. It's another way of saying solve for x. So we want to subtract b, y minus b equals mx. And then divide by m, y minus b over m equals x. X is now by itself. Solve the equation below for h. Well, we want to get rid of this r. If you don't know what the right side of the equation is, that's fine. You don't need to in order to do this. This is sine of theta. Now we subtract r from both sides. So we get negative h equals r sine theta minus r. Lastly, We divide by -1, divide by -1. H equals negative r sine theta plus r. Yay. Circumference equals 2 times pi times the radius for r. Well, this is dividing by 2 pi. So circumference over 2 pi equals the radius. Oops. Here, the like terms are ax and cx. So we can say that this is a plus c x, and the other like terms are b and d. If we do the same thing here, a plus c, x plus b plus d equals e. Now we're trying to solve for x, so we're trying to get rid of b and d. So we have a plus c x equals e minus b minus d, and dividing by a plus c gives us x equals e minus b minus d over a plus c. Last one, solving for r. If we had 10 equals 5 over x, what we would do is we multiply by x on both sides to get 10x equals 5, and then divide by 10 to get x equals 1/2. So we're going to do the same set of steps here. We're going to multiply by r on both sides. rv equals a squared. But remember, we're trying to get r by itself. So now what we want to do is get rid of the v, divide by v on both sides, r equals a squared over v. That's how we solve multivariable equations.